Hey guys, today we'll be reacting to some videos from the YouTubers that I subscribe. You can watch my friends' videos. We'll start with this YouTuber who I sort of subscribe because his videos are so satisfied. I being honest. So the problem is once I start the video, I can't zoom in because it might cut the video off. So I just gotta leave it like this, so I don't have to zoom press this. It go cut the video off. I mean the recording off. Okay, first of all, how is you using your mic? Oh my god, I cannot even talk. How is you using your microwave to pray? That does not make no sense. You can't do that, cause it might break your phone or set your phone on fire. Let's jump through this title card, bro. The way our song looks on this title card looks kind of neat. I can't tell if he making a fan game. So yeah, give a shout out to this man. I did give him a shout out on my community post, just in case y'all want to check that out. Alright, to the next one, before I just go to yeah, yeah, yeah. Say it. I just like bring
9 years ago, James and I talked about what it was like living in our home state, Arizona. I honestly don't remember most of what we said in that video. I tried to rewatch it as a refresher and maybe a little trip down memory lane, but turns out after 5 seconds I'd rather be guillotined. No. Eyes on me. You clicked on this video, you're staying on this video. No funny ideas, alright? The other day, I was in a store trying to buy a plain black shirt that was locked up behind those stupid box lockers, so I had to ring an employee for a single shirt. A few minutes later, someone came by. Oh my gosh, are you Jaden Animations? Yeah. No way, I love your videos. Can I get a photo? Yeah. Thanks so much. I didn't expect to see you here. Are you visiting? Oh, no, I live here. You're not in Arizona anymore? And that's when it dawned on me, there is a giant portion of my audience who will not get updated on some parts of my life if I don't don't explicitly say it in one of my animations. Also, the guy left without unlocking the box, so I had to wait another 5 minutes for him to come back and get the shirt. So yeah, to anyone who didn't get the memo, I've been in California for the past 6.5 years, specifically Los Angeles. I honestly can't believe it's been that long already, because that means for the past 6.5 years, I've been doing nothing but complaining about it the entire time. I believe in the compliment sandwich system though. Not everything about moving to California has been bad. For example, the weather is great. It's always sunny, which, you know, Arizona is too, but like, in a bad way. California doesn't hit the casual 118 everything outside melts and dies degrees like back home. It's vacation weather all the time. I like that part. The drivers here are assholes. Arizona is not sunshine and rainbows in the driving department either. When I was learning to drive as a teenager, my mom told me to never honk at people no matter what because there's a chance they'll just shoot me. But because of the sheer volume of people on California roads all the time, it is a completely different beast. And every single one of them is driving to go kick babies because they hate their fellow man. Compassion does not exist on the California freeway. And by that, I mean blinkers. You know, the very helpful and necessary communication tool that tells people you'd kindly like to move into the lane. It's a sign of weakness here. If you even think about turning your blinker on, every single car in your vicinity will speed up and refuse to let you merge because they cannot handle the idea of a different car being in front of them. How can they get to their destination faster if a car that was in front of them in a different lane suddenly shifts to the side 12 feet? People will go out of their way to merge into the lane just to speed past you and spit on your windshield. When I turn my blinker on, which I still do because I refuse to let this barbaric driving culture corrupt me, a car will speed up and then merge in front of me. If you need to be in my lane and I need to be in yours, we literally have to stay at our same speeds and shift. It's simple. There's no point in you blocking my merge just to merge into my lane anyway. Oh my god, it pisses me off so much. They do it all the time. If I had no money and got $1 every single time someone took advantage of my blinker, I'd have enough money to move out of this godforsaken state. One time I turned my blinker on, checked my blind spot, and in the amount of time it took for me to look back at the road and start merging, a car way behind me had sped up so fast that my car's auto detection had to cut my merge off so I wouldn't hit them. And then that car honked at me! I will kill us both. Alright, the drivers suck, but at least I'm only going a few miles. Not only am I forced to drive alongside these bozos, I'm forced to drive alongside them for way longer than I should need to. The traffic is so genuinely bad, I daydream of becoming a better sprinter to arrive at places quicker because it is genuinely not far from the realm of realism. Either that or get one of those monster snowplow attachments. I mean, seriously, 10 miles? I should not be in the car longer than 20 minutes. Everyone here loves driving 30 over the speed limit anyway. I don't even know what the holdup is. Also, a little tip. If you wanted to find a place to park when you get to your destination, you shouldn't even be driving in the first place. Parking doesn't exist here, it's a myth and a lie. 95% of all locations have 0 parking lots. There's never street parking than 20 minutes. Everyone here loves driving 30 over the speed limit anyway. I don't even know what the holdup is. Also, a little tip. If you wanted to find a place to park when you get to your destination, you shouldn't even be driving in the first place. Parking doesn't exist here. It's a myth and a lie.
Adventure is calling. And so are the deals at Pep Boys. Save up to
Lie. 95% of all locations have 0 parking lots. There's never street parking, and if you happen to be a lucky enough soul to find a spot, you can't slow down to parallel park into it because people are either gonna yell at you for clogging the lane or ram into your bumper. It's just an evil trick. So your only choice is to find a parking garage that costs like $20. One time, my friends and I drove to a one-piece live symphony at the Dolby Theater and decided to park in its parking garage. Oh, what an obvious mistake. Do you want to know how long it took us to get out of that garage after the show when everyone was leaving? 2.5 hours! We parked in the designated parking garage for a show and paid 2.5 hours of our life on top of real life money. So what if you don't have a car? Then you don't have to deal with any of this, right? Well, you can't walk anywhere. What do you think this is? Any other country? You could get a bike or a motorcycle, but again, with the quality of drivers around, you might as well play Russian roulette every time the wheels touch asphalt. Maybe with the right setup and some expendable funds, you could just get around with rideshare apps. But man, getting an Uber is so expensive out here. It might as well be considered a luxury in itself. If you're taking an Uber either to or from the LAX airport, I guarantee it'll cost at least $100. And the drivers don't get like any of that, by the way. Once I had a driver complain to me about the ride rates the whole trip, which was not asked for to begin with. He said he had a client once trying to go to LAX and they were being charged $100, like I said, but the driver was only gonna get $30 from the trip. So he offered to charge $80 cash for them to do it outside the app as a win-win. Don't ever take this type of offer, kids. That was incredibly dangerous. But that's just where the landscape of Uber is here. Also, fun little tip. Never tell any drivers the place you're going to or from is your actual home. This is for everywhere, not just California. Sure, if they ask, it's normally small talk, but when it's not, you're in danger! Yikes! Now that guy won't leave your driveway. And the police say they can't do anything because he hasn't actually committed a crime yet. Just lie and say it's a friend's place or something. It's not worth the gamble, and lying to strangers is fun. That was a dangerous. But that's just where the landscape of Uber is here. Also, fun little tip, never tell any drivers the place you're going to or from your actual home. This is for everywhere, not just California. Sure, if they ask, it's normally small talk, but when it's not, you're in danger. Yikes. Now that guy won't leave your driveway, and the police say they can't do anything because he hasn't actually committed a crime yet. Just lie and say it's a friend's place or something. It's not worth the gamble, and lying to strangers is fun. That was a free survival hint from your friendly neighborhood YouTuber. Put that one in the back of your pockets. Speaking of LAX, because I brought it up earlier, that place is actual hell on earth. If someone gets sent there after death, I would consider it a viable punishment for being a bad person. But innocent people are forced to be subjected to it every single day, and it's inhumane. You have every single asshole with a plane ticket in the entire city and beyond enter through the same stupid entrance, forced to drive through the same loop bumper to bumper until they get to their specific gate. No branching paths, no attempts to categorize the types of arrivals, just a single slaughterhouse line like cattle. But in normal slaughterhouse lines, the cattle don't hate each other. I was talking about bad merging before. It is legitimately survival of the fittest in the LAX horseshoe. Absolutely no one will let you merge lanes ever unless you threaten to fist fight them right there on the concrete. One time I sat with my blinker on in traffic that was not moving for 15 minutes straight, and a dude still refused to let me start merging once cars started inching forward. I had to sit there making direct eye contact with him until he was uncomfortable enough to let me get in front of him. It is personal. I am not the same person when I'm in the LAX horseshoe. None of us are. Some dudes in the 1960s decided they wanted everyone that ever planned to visit LA to suffer instantly when they got here. And they simply straight, and a dude still refused to let me start merging once cars started inching. 1960s decided they wanted ever personal. I am not the same person when I'm in the LAX horseshoe. None of us are. Some dudes in the 1960s decided they wanted everyone that ever planned to visit LA to suffer instantly when they got here. And they simply got away with it. I've spent so much time talking about traffic and the airport, I haven't even talked about living in LA yet. Well, that part sucks too! Everything is so absurdly expensive here, it's almost comedic. Almost. Maybe raise the prices of food like $10 more and I'll start to chuckle. No, burrito's like $40. I haven't even had food out here that's blown my mind. Sure, it's not bad, but when eating out can get this expensive, I expect something more to write home about. There are some really fancy restaurants around, but I shouldn't have to spend even more money to eat a meal that makes me go, wow, I will remember this. It's become a common pastime for some people to pull up Zillow and look at all the really crazy expensive multi-million-dollar mansions, fantasizing about what they would do if they were to live in the craziest of homes. But the equivalent equivalent of that for me and my friends here is to look at normal homes that are just not in California. Oh, look at that one! 3-bed, 2-bath for like $2,500 a month. That's insane. Here, the same thing can go upwards of $7,000. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm very lucky and fortunate enough to not have to worry about.
At Marshalls, our buyers hustle 24/7 to get you great deals on the good stuff.
About finances as much. I can afford to live in a more expensive place here. It's not gonna break my bank. But at the same time, I'd like to still be relatively smart with money. Sure, I tend to splurge on plushies and trinkets. Haha, Jane's buying another Miku figure. But outside of that stuff, I'm really not spending money on anything else. I'm not into luxury cars or clothes or any of that type of culture. It's trinkets, plushes, and admittedly a little too much DoorDash. But I have a job that I can perform literally anywhere in the entire world. And I'm sitting here wasting extra costs on living in one of the most expensive cities in America. It feels bad. And I don't know if you picked up on it yet, but I don't even really like it here all that much. So why? Why do I choose to burn extra money just to exist in LA? The single reason is all of my friends are here, and I'd happily shovel extra funds into a giant furnace to be near them because that's what makes a place feel like a true home. But all of my friends are also content creators that can work anywhere too. And if we all just banded together and decided to move somewhere else, that would sure be swell. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of time, coordination, and resources to try and figure out an entirely new place to move a giant friend group of people. So we've essentially soft-locked ourselves here until we can all agree it's time to get out of here. I'll give LA some credit. The main thing that makes it great is the fact that everything is always happening here. There's always some sort of fun event going on. Concerts, tours, random pop-ups. I went to a live screening of the season 2 finale of Severance where the cast got to talk about it afterwards, and that was one of the coolest experiences of my life so far. You name it, it is happening in California. Truly, you will never be bored here if you're always looking for something to do, and I recognize that is incredibly valuable. But at the same time, It means there's always tourists visiting, and Los Angeles is a very disgusting city for tourists to visit. It smells like pee all the time. The tourist trap areas are so trashy. There's constant crowds everywhere you go. When it rains, the pee smells even worse. Every once in a while, I need to go into the city for some reason or another, and those are bad days. Also, if you want to see all these cool things, you don't have to live in California to begin with. In fact, living here only desensitizes me to all the awesome stuff constantly around. Back when I first moved, I was really close to Disneyland, and for the entire 2 years I spent over there, I only went to the alleged happiest place on earth a single time because of a friend's birthday. That's more of a personal experience though. I know plenty of people who have yearly passes to Disney or Universal who go to them. For me, I always just think, I can go there anytime, so maybe later. And then later is multiple years. I consider it a privilege to be able to live in LA. It's expensive, a lot of people dream of coming here and making it big, and if you can afford it, you can definitely live luxuriously. But I am just really not built for all that. I grew up in a tiny desert town with like no people in it, and prefer to be holed up in my house 90% of the time, watching YouTube until my brain is mush. However, as much as I want to uproot everything again to live somewhere else less expensive and more compatible with my preferred lifestyle, I do think LA is a good place for me to be right now. Both the YouTube and animation industry are here. I don't need to travel for most of the events I get invited to, and content creators are always visiting for something or another, so I get to meet a lot of fellow creator friends. I can't say anywhere else in the world can offer all these benefits that specifically apply to me right now, and it's also just a lot of fun. I might not exactly like it, but LA is my home for at least the next few years, and I do get to have a lot of fun here with my friends. It's a toxic relationship, I suppose, but I'm sure in a decade when I'm somewhere else and reminiscing on the past, I'll have very fond memories of it all. So I can complain all I want while I'm here, but deep down, I know California has been such a huge part of the most defining years of my life, and I'll hold a very special place for it in my heart for a long time. LAX and the drivers are just excluded from it though. I'll hate those parts forever. I posted a little video, but if you missed it, we're selling Tostada merch for the first time ever because everyone begged and pleaded for it. Please go check it all out. I think everything turned out so silly and good, and she's only available until September 7th. And here's a picture of her for the people who stayed till the end of the video. Okay, bye-bye. Excluded from it though. I'll hate those parts forever. I posted a little video, but if you missed it, we're selling Tostada merch for the first time ever because everyone begged and pleaded for it. Please go check it all out. I think everything turned out so silly and good, and she's only available until September 7th. And here's a picture of her for